It's May 17th, I think. Seems like a good day for story time. The little end tractors, the videos I've had of them and how they revolutionized mechanized farming, having the 3-point lift system. In just over a decade, they sold so close to 1 million of them as you may as well call them 1 million. Now, this has always intrigued me. The Ford dealers took in so many teams of horses at what at the time was fair market value that the dealers had to put corrals behind the dealerships. Now, realize that at that time in the 1930s, a team of horses was a farmer's most valuable asset. I remember my mother saying as a child in the Depression era, not far down the road from here in southern Ontario, she never thought about it as a child, but at midday, the team of horses would get swapped out while the men stayed in the fields themselves from dawn till dusk. So what happened to all of those horses, and why did they retain their market value when you would think that the value of a team of horses would be plummeting? I mean, mechanized farming had been around. Tractors were being built long before 1939. So to answer that question, let's step back in time out quite a ways. When the Americas, as they were called then, were being developed, the oxen was the go-to piece of farm equipment, I'll say. Far stronger than a horse, far hardier, and capable of living on an inferior fodder that a horse could not subside on. The oxen were used to pull the stumps as the forests were cleared in the eastern United States and Canada. And ditto as the virgin sod in the prairie was busted for the first time, plowed under. The oxen again being much stronger. So when we leap forward a little bit to say the Oregon Trail, where the settlers were heading west, we all know the story of the Oregon Trail. The veterans told the newbies, a team of horses is not what you want. You need the mule for its hardiness, etc., the fodder, etc. Or at the very least, a team of mules. Of course, a lot of would-be pioneers ignored this advisement to their chagrin and to the often demise of the horse, for it was not hardy enough and capable of living on that fodder. However, the horse did come to replace the oxens and the mules. They're faster. You made that once or twice annual trip to town for supplies, you'd be there and back with a team of horses, and the mule would still be headed towards town or the burro. Mule. Where's the burro keep coming in there? I'm sorry. Anyways, we move forward into 1939. What was Henry Ford doing with all those horses, taking them in again at a premium value? The answer? The Second World War. That's right. I'll come to some numbers in a moment here, but the brilliant and ruthlessly financially brilliant Henry Ford was giving the farmers market value for their horses, but marking them up to the U.S. government and the U.S. Army as it ramped up to enter the Second World War. I can't seem to find any hard numbers. Nobody seems to agree on how many horses were lost, I'll say, used in the Second World War. Estimates seem to range from 3 to 5 million, although that seems low because most people seem in agreement the German military had almost 3 million horses in their war effort, and it seems agreed that 1 million horses were shipped from North America. So that would take us to almost 4 million just there alone yet alone the rest of the world. It's often forgotten or downplayed in the annals of history. The horses, of course, suffered cruelly, as did the men. Don't let me think I'm underestimating that. The horses would suffer from shell shock, amongst other things. But again, no one seems in concurrent how many horses were used in the war. The history books and certainly Hollywood glorifies the mechanized era, the tanks and the planes, and the evolving face of war, as the tactics, of course, were totally different in the Second World War from what they were in the trench warfare of World War I. But anyways, that's the story of where the horses went. They went to war.